top 3 words voters think of to describe Clinton. This is Quinnipiac now. Liar, dishonest, and untrustworthy. Wow. Well, joining me now, host of the Chris Plante Show on WMAL Radio in Washington, Chris Plante, and staff writer for Washington Free Beacon, Elizabeth Harrington. And I don't know, you talk about calling people names. The people responded with liar and untrustworthy. Chris, pretty mean stuff.
Well, apparently the American people can't be fooled all the time, as they say. I think it's really kind of great news for America. People, in spite of what the mainstream news media is feeding, the people are aware that Hillary Clinton has been telling a series of untruths, that she's a dishonest person, that she just comes off as being untrustworthy, that everything she says is suspect. It all depends on what the meaning of the word is. And, congratulations to the American people for cutting through the media and getting to the reality. Yeah,
Elizabeth, but did you... I said earlier it was kind of subtle, but it was so subtle that it hit like a brick. She's all of a sudden sounding like, well, okay, it was a bad idea for me to do that separate email thing, so come on, let bygones be bygones. Is she going to get away with that?
I don't think so, because this scandal really is not going away. More and more stuff comes out by the day, and she's changing her tone a little bit here because really last week was such a disaster of a press conference for her. She came off as very defensive and dismissive and said, no, voters don't even care about this, only the media does. And now you see her saying, oh, no, I understand this is a serious issue, but I followed all the rules. She's trying to have it, both ways now, because she's seen the polling that voters actually do care about this scandal and they want more answers.
Yeah, and I think she must see that too, about this whole business about lying and going, okay, I'll be honest about it. I made a bad decision. But Chris, look at this. She's down 10 points. Bernie Sanders is doing better, but it seems like the pundits in your town are still saying Bernie Sanders is not going to beat her.
Yeah, well, the pundits have been wrong before. They're going to be wrong again. I think they're going to be wrong a lot in this election cycle. And a point of clarification on what Hillary Clinton said. She's getting all kinds of credit in the fake news media for taking responsibility for the email scandal, and she's not. She said yesterday that the State Department allowed it. All right. Now, she was the State Department. She was the Secretary of State. That's like Bill Gates saying Microsoft allowed it. It's completely absurd. Having the private email violated White House policy, therefore administration policy, and that's not even getting to the private server, which was squirreled away in a loft apartment in Denver, Colorado, apparently in the closet of a bathroom, completely unsecure. And, Tom, look, honestly, I've been in this town a long time. If we found a mole inside the State Department that had accessed for 4 years Hillary Clinton's emails coming and going and sent them to an unsecure server in Denver, Colorado, we would put that person in jail for decades.
That's true. In fact, there have been. There have been cases of exactly that. So, Elizabeth, Joe Biden, I know that he's going to meet, after Labor Day with a bunch of the big money raisers. He's meeting with Richard Trumka now. So it looks like everything's being lined up where he's going to do it. Do you think he's going to go?
I think he's definitely leaning towards that way, and these poll numbers, so bad for Hillary, it's got to make it more likely that he's giving it a closer look. And this meeting with Richard Trumka is very feel to the Elizabeth Warren meeting. He's meeting with all these groups, the different wings of the Democratic Party, and trying to see if he can shore up their support so he can actually make a credible challenge to Hillary. And I think that's what he's doing, and it sure does look like he's leaning more closer by the day to a run.
And Chris, I mean, that's got to boost your ego a little bit when they show those polls saying, hey, you can beat the Republican of any of those Republicans. That's got to help him make his decision.
Yeah, well, him and the party also, because the party right now is more or less behind Hillary, but they see that she is fading. They see that she's a weak horse. And look, their bench stinks. When they go to the bullpen, they've got Joe Biden, who's, 73 years old, the party of youth, the party of the future. They're looking to Al Gore. I mean, the party has no bench. They have no bullpen. When they're going to Joe Biden, who is, he's a punchline to a joke, and he's their fallback for Hillary Clinton. For my own selfish purposes and for comedic reasons, I certainly hope that he jumps into the race because nobody's more of a buffoon than him in this entire city. And everybody loves him in the news media. Oh, he's the nicest guy. And he probably is a very nice guy. I met him a couple of times. He's a perfectly nice guy. But that's beside the point, entirely beside the point. He's a joke. He's been wrong about everything for 40 years. He was wrong about the intermediate nuclear force.
For you and me in radio, we love the gaffes. That's all there is to it. It gives us material.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Plant, Elizabeth Harrington, thank you both very much. Good